Pujya Gurudev, from Bombay, Mr. Deepak has asked this question. Can there be a world without sorrow? If so, how is it possible?
Can there be a world without sorrow? If so, how is it possible? First thing you should understand, there are two types of pain. A pain which leads to sorrow. There are two types. One, there's a physical pain. The other, there's a psychological pain. Physical pain, in fact, even though it appears to be the real problem, in fact, it is the least problem. But due to wrong thinking, the physical pain appears to be more a big pain. But the real sucker which sucks our life is the psychological pain. So therefore, what we can manage, what we can eliminate, we can only eliminate psychological pain, psychological sorrow. But what we cannot eliminate is the physical pain. You meet an accident, you break your leg. Now that pain you have to go through. Now it may appear that pain is really destroying our life. So often nothing. You are fractured, there's 2-3 days pain, you are on bed there. But psychologically there is a pain. Why this accident has happened? It is so unfair. All rowdies, nothing happens. Good people alone, bad things happen. You go on worrying psychologically, and because of the worrying of psychological pain, that gets superimposed on the physical pain, and afterwards is a confusion which pain you are really suffering. It appears the physical pain is the pain you are suffering, but the physical pain gets aggravated, gets exaggerated by the psychological pain. So therefore, what we can eliminate is the psychological sorrow. What can be managed, which we can't avoid, is the physical sorrow. So therefore, can there be a world of sorrow? Psychologically, there can be a world without sorrow. But physically, there is going to be a world which will have sorrow. But that is really very deeply, if you see, it is not a problem. Because of wrong thinking, one gets overlapped in the other there. So therefore, what we can manage is physical pain. What we can eliminate is psychological pain. Now to eliminate this psychological pain, in fact what you are really asking, is there a world without sorrow? So make a distinction of the sorrow itself. And in that psychological pain, if you really see what is the psychological pain that you go through, you have certain problems. And when you have certain problems, you tell yourself it is not okay to have problems. And when you say you're not okay to have problems, you are in a conflict with the problem. Once you're in conflict with the problem, that conflict gives you pain. And that pain which gets psychologically exaggerated, you superimpose on the physical, whatever the physical problem you are going through there. And therefore, friends, psychologically you can eliminate sorrow by right and wise thinking. Not sheer positive thinking, but wise thinking. So if there is a problem that you are going to go through in life, say it is okay to have problem. Tell yourself, problem is inviting me to be a better individual, not a bitter individual. Problem is helping me to be more alert in life, is helping me to be more efficient in life. Once when you start looking at that, then you will find you will be able to relate to sorrow in a much more wiser way. I remember there was a person who did my workshop in Baroda. He did my workshop in Baroda and asked this question to me. He said, in my live workshop, he got up and said, see Swamiji, I have been in the army, and he went into certain details, which I'm not going to go that much into details in this talk here, but one of the details he says, what I'm going through pain is, I was posted in Kashmir, I was a head of a battalion, I lost 40-50 of my efficient soldiers. When I lost 50 of my efficient soldiers there to catch a terrorist, we caught the terrorist. Having caught the terrorist, we all rejoiced, and there were political influences which came there, and we have to release the prisoner, the terrorist. So much of pain we went through this, he said. Then he went further, he said he was posted in Lanka, and in Lanka also he lost about 50-60 of his very brilliant troop there. He said they went nearly in the capture of the LTT leader, right? But suddenly when they really surrounded the LTT leader, suddenly there were high orders for me to withdraw. Now the pain is our soldiers sacrifice their life and some nasty person makes a decision elsewhere. Now all this I could bear, but what I could not bear, there's an inquiry why this has happened. And next time again I was posted in Kashmir, we caught the same terrorist losing 30-40 people. At this time I didn't take anything, I took a gun and shot at the person. He or some of his group, he shot, he said. Now there's a big inquiry going on about me now. That is also not a problem, he says, for him. He says that is also not a problem. But what is the problem is, now I'm being posted, I'm a warrior, and now I've been posted in some official work now. Somewhere near Delhi has been posted. He says that pain is what I cannot bear, he says. That pain is what I cannot bear now. As a soldier I'm trained, now I'm posted in Delhi, right? I like to be in the war front. You see, and different order of pain. Some of us will be very happy if you're not in the front. For him, he is not happy, right? And he went through so much of pain, I could see this. And for him, sacrificing my life, the government is not validating what I have done. So I had to tell him, right, if the government is not validating what you have done, right, and if you have really loved what you have done as a good soldier, there is a force above the government which will reward you at the right time, I said. But that life is so unfair, Swamiji, he said. I said, that is true. My grandfather's close relative was a hunter of Mysore Maharajas. He was a hunter. And he used to go, 3-4 months he used to go away of hunting. And as kids we used to ask him, in the forest, right, is it not dangerous when you're sleeping in the night, when you're not armed? Yes, it's dangerous. But then he enjoyed hunting, he says. It was dangerous, he enjoyed hunting. He used to leave his business and go away for hunting. And that time I could not understand how he is in danger and still he enjoys hunting. Right? Because psychologically he said it's fun going for hunting. Then I told this person, just imagine hunting if you go, right, and everything is in order, We can say hunting is very unfair, You're going, suddenly a leopard from the back attacks you, snake from the bottom attacks you, scorpion from the tree can fall you. So very unfair, isn't it? So therefore what? So fair will be according to us what? If you go for hunting, all elephants in a row should stand and salute you now. All tigers should be waiting and then order, dishku, 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 you shoot. Is this what fair is? Hunting involves, right, so many dimensions of fairness and unfairness. And that is what hunting is. If I can have a hunter's attitude towards life, and how a hunter, more the dangerous is, more he loves, because he becomes more alert. And even the whispering of something, he becomes so sharp. And therefore, if we can awaken ourselves to that height of living, we can awaken ourselves to that height of living, and in that alertness, different dimension opens up altogether. And therefore, you cannot avoid physical pain. What you can avoid is psychological pain. Once you eliminate psychological pain, there is a little pain when you do physical. There is a pain. But that pain is like a sportsman. When he is running, he is panting, he is tired. He is panting and he is tired, but the tiredness adds vibrance to the whole game. Adds vibrance to the whole game there. So therefore, psychological pain definitely we can avoid. If you can have another attitude, apart from the hunter's attitude, if you have a spiritual attitude, the attitude is all difficulty is divine surgery. Everything is for my good. Only I should be on the path of goodness. And when I am the path of goodness, everything is going to be for the good. If I can have that equation in life, for I find the world is a beautiful place. And if I can have that equation in life there, life becomes very beautiful. Reflect on the story. There was a king who went for hunting. There's a king who went for hunting, and he went for hunting. What happened is, while hunting there, he killed a tiger, and the process of killing the tiger, he lost his thumb. When he lost his thumb, the king was very, very sad. He lost his thumb, but his minister was next to him. All right, and the minister, now he killed the tiger along the line, but lost his thumb. Very sad. And that minister next to him, he attended a lot of philosophical classes. So therefore, at the wrong time, he was giving a right advice. We should know at the right time, you should give a right advice. Not the wrong time, you should give the right advice. A wrong time, if you give the right advice, it becomes wrong. So this minister tells the king, "O Lord, O Maharaj, nothing to worry, you have lost a thumb, it is for your own good." Now that's not the time to say. If like a neighbor's husband dies, and you go to her wife, widow, and say, "It's for your own good your husband has died." Now she'll say, "You have intentions now." You'll land up in deeper trouble. Now she said this, the king gets so annoyed, catches the minister, pushes in the well nearby. Fortunately, the well had little water, and he was saved. Then the king asked the minister, "Is it for your own good you're under the water?" It was not under the water, little water. And this person, deeply believing in philosophy, said, "For my own good I am in the water." The king cursed these people, read philosophies and become Buddhas instead of Buddhas. Cursing as he was going away, the story goes, he gets caught by a group of Kali worshippers. Kali worshippers catch hold of him, all right, and they tie him down. And Kali worshippers, they do Balidan, human people they sacrifice. And he says, "Hey, I am the king of the neighboring kingdom." And the chief priest said, "Still more good. You are offering blue blood to goddess Kali." Human sacrifice. This person says, "My God, my star is very bad." And the next day when the chief priest came there with all other priests to do Balidan there, and then when he finished the basic rituals, lo, to his surprise, he found that the king's thumb was missing. And according to the rules of their ritual, our prasada should be purna, should be full. There's a dosha in the prasada, there's a defect in the offering, all right, and therefore one limb is missing. And therefore what the chief priest said, "Now please release this king away, because one defect, one limb is missing. Since one limb is missing, goddess Kali will get angry to us, and therefore release this person now." The king gets released, and the king feels so happy. If his thumb would not have gone, what would have happened? His head would have gone there. And he said, what the minister said is absolutely true. Whatever happens is for my own good. Comes rushing to the minister, lifts him off from the well. Whole night the minister suffered under the well. He lifts him off, touches his feet, and says, "What he said is very, very true," and narrates the whole story. And the minister says, "Don't thank me. Right? That I was in the well was for my own good. If I was not in the well, I would have been the perfect prasada to be offered there." So whatever happens is for our own good. It's a beautiful spiritual asset that you have. And when you have those buffers with you, then you will find you can deal with sorrow much more better. And with that psychological strength, start doing good things in life. You have to be anchored in goodness, and you have to do good. And if you are anchored in goodness and do good, you will get invisible strength from an unknown source where you can face the turmoils of life. Like how a hunter enjoys hunting and a layman cannot understand how he could enjoy hunting. I could not understand how my uncle was enjoying hunting, putting his life in danger. So to some strength will open up when you are in the path of goodness and when you do a good act. And therefore Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, "Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha." Even the most difficult situations, anudvigna manaha, you will be unruffled in life. Who? Stita prajnaha iti uchyate. He is a wise person. He is a wise person who in dukkha also is anudvigna manaha. In difficult situations he is anudvigna manaha. Why? Because atmani eva atmana tushtaha. He discovers happiness is within him. and you discover happiness within him, dukkeshu anudvigna manaha. Hari Om.